Good morning, everyone. I'm Ragapriya Sridhar, the host for this webinar. Thank you for your continued support in using Synergita and also for attending this session. The topic for today's webinar is how to roll out OKR successfully to achieve high growth in your organization. We have Kritika Venkatesan with us. She is the presenter for this webinar. She is part of the product implementation team and she has worked with multiple customers across the globe. We are frequently enhancing the product with new features and modules. In this series now, we have launched OKR, Objectives and Key Results, which is a management tool to measure the objectives and key results of an organization. Kritika will give a brief about the OKR concept in today's session. Before starting the session, here are a few housekeeping instructions. Please keep your phones on mute. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat window located beside the presentation panel. We have already received several questions from the registrants, which will be answered by the speaker towards the end of this session. Also, we will continue to collect more questions during the session and will try to answer them during today's Q&A. In case if you do not receive answers to your questions today, you will certainly receive answers via email shortly. Once again, thank you for your participation and enjoy the session. Over to you, Kritika.
Thank you, Ragapriya. I appreciate the introduction. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. And today's session is going to be the most interesting topic on how to roll out OKR successfully to achieve high growth in your organization. So first, what OKR is. So OKRs are objective and the key results. It is a collaborative goal-setting tool used by teams and individuals to set challenging, ambitious goals with measurable results. OKRs are how you track progress, create alignment, and encourage engagement around measurable goals. And OKR has been in the industry for several years. Many top tier companies like Intel, Google have been using it effectively to grow their business, but it is catching up quite a bit of traction in the recent days, mainly because of the appeal, simplicity, and highly effective results. And all along, companies have used several methodologies to tackle the problem of aligning company objectives to drive their execution as well. What are all the components of OKR? So a proper goal has to describe both what you will achieve and how you're going to measure its achievement. So as the name implies, OKR has two components, objectives and the key results. And objectives are a memorable qualitative descriptions of what you want to achieve, and an objective should motivate, challenge the team by definition. Objectives are significant, concrete, action oriented, and ideally it should be an inspirational one as well. So what are the key results? The key results are the set of metrics that measure your progress against each of the objective. So generally you can have like close to 2 to 3 or like somewhere 3 to 5 objective key results for an objective. What are all the top characteristics and the benefits of OKR? So characteristics, first we have ambitious. So make sure all the objectives which we set it for the employees at employee level and also at the company level, it must be achievable and yet it must be ambitious as well, so that they take it as an inspiration to achieve their OKRs on a daily basis. And make sure all the objectives are measurable. So objectives must be measurable by their key results as well. Public, every OKR at any level in the organization must be very transparent. Make all the OKRs that has been set at company level. Say example, if you have company objectives set, it must be very transparent so that all the employees know what is the objective that has been set, so that the company works towards it and we also must push ourselves to achieve the same. Aligned, to keep everybody focused and moving in the same direction, objective must be aligned and connected. So what we mean by here is the company objectives that have been set can be aligned with every individual's team OKRs as well. What are the benefits of OKR? So focus. So focus is the first benefit of OKR, because when you set OKRs, you are limited in number of them, and there can be more than one objective, but always less than seven, because always fewer is better, right? So every objective should fit on one line. As for key results, you should have not more than five per objective. So prioritize your goals. OKRs always lets you know what are all your priorities, and no distraction keeps you away from any distraction. And all the team members, right from the employee level, manager and supervisor, till the management team, will be completely focused on what they want without any distraction. Go beyond. So with ambitious objectives, you always try to do more and go beyond and that what seems to be impossible. How to write powerful OKRs. So now that we know what OKRs are, and let's move on to the most essential part. How do I write a good OKR? It won't be as complex as you might think. So it means that first you have to define an objective, sit with your team, plan accordingly, and then execute the results, engage all your employees right from ground level to the top level, learn from all your success and failures. An objective should be, when you're setting an objective, just make sure that you follow this rule: what is intended to be achieved and an expression of your goal. When writing your objective, you must follow the following requirements. It has to be ambitious, inspirational one, concrete, action oriented, and not fuzzy as well. So describe the outcomes and not the activities. A simple check is to see if your OKRs include like consult, help, analyze, or participate. If yes, then they describe the activities. Instead, explain the end user impact of these activities. They must be time bound, aggressive, and a realistic one as well. And they have to be measurable. You either hit a result or you don't. There is no room for doubt. It has to be possible to grade the key result once the target period for achievement has passed. And based on our experience for implementing OKRs to many organizations, we usually also recommend not to create too many key results. This will help with prioritization. When you have too many objectives and key results, you will not be able to be very focused, or like there will be like so much of distraction. So we generally recommend to have like a minimum of 2 to 3 objectives and have like 3 to 5 key results from for each of the objectives, so that it will helps you in prioritization and it keeps you focused on the most critical deliverables. A good practice is trying to limit your key results to just 3 to 5 per objective. So how do I set company OKRs? So company OKRs helps you in set the direction for the entire organization, because company OKRs is directional. They usually have a time span of 1 to 3 years. Your company OKRs reflects the 3 or 4 things your organization decides it must achieve in the next 12 months. It is also important that everyone in your organization has a chance to give their input when you are deciding what you want to achieve in the next 12 months. And we recommend starting with an OKR workshop where all the key stakeholders are responsible for the company's first strategies. Ask them and then gather inputs from them, and then make sure that what are all the top priorities should be. This input can be discussed in relation to existing company strategy, and it can be broken into 3 to 5 OKRs. And the objective of the exercise is to come into an agreement on what your organization should have achieved by the beginning of the following year. So how do I set? So once the company OKRs are set, the next comes the team OKRs and the department-wise OKRs. Team and individual OKRs express what tactics the teams and individuals will deploy and what results they will need to achieve in order to help the organization realize its long-term objectives. Everyone has a busy schedule and urgent things will constantly pop up, right? So whatever is reflected in your OKRs deserve priority over everything else. So this is also very crucial to update your OKRs regularly to see how you are progressing on, and what you have achieved is a very most important thing. So that is why it is so important to always bring up your team OKRs on your weekly or bi-weekly team meetings. So OKR gives team and individual a sense of direction and accomplishment, but they are also a reason to say no to things that fall aside of the scope of the OKRs. If every team creates OKRs as if they were the only things they will be working on that quarter, it will also ensure a successful OKR program at the organization level. So how do I identify company objectives? So company objectives are your North Star. They lead the way. That's why overarching company objectives should be the first ones you set. So based on the company focus, departments and teams you set it here, contributing OKRs. It is best if you set objectives quarterly because it gives a better understanding of what to focus on and how to align the goals. And you can have an annual objective as well, but it seems to be very broad, high level, and vague. So always define the quarterly focus as well if you choose to have annual objectives. So on the company level, objectives is all you need. So don't worry about setting key results. So company level key results would easily end up just being high level KPIs, and repeating them in different places does not bring any value. So company objectives should be moving forward through the team OKR. So it must be aligned with the team and the department objectives. So here are some of the few OKR examples which we have designed for the sales team. An objective must be one, and we can have like 3 to 5 key results out of which. And we have one more example, a simple objective followed by 2 key results. So when you keep it lesser, the employees in the organization or any team who is contributing towards the OKR will be focused, and there will not be much of a distraction, and there will not be so much of pressure on them. Instead of just not achieving anything, when you have the minimalistic key results, it will be easy for the end users to achieve the expected outcomes. So top down and bottom up objectives. So usually you're looking to achieve an effective ratio of both top down and bottom up goals. So hence, so at least 50% of your goals should be directly derived from higher organization key results that you support. The other way around, there is a rule of thumb that is around 50% of the OKR should be defined by the team and employees working in a bottom up approach, meaning that the managers also have a say on what their OKRs are. So what are the reasons why we have to focus on OKR with the bottom up and top down approach? So these are the reasons. First thing is foster engagement levels and innovation. So with commitment, the work and the productivity force is established, the employees, the managers, and subsequently the company starts moving towards their end goals, the mission statement. So always use the power of the organization. So whatever business you are in, you can't negate the power of organization. So organization is needed every moment, as it is the only way to make things happen. With OKRs that are focused on a bottom up and top down approach, you put efforts like an organization from managers to employees. Everybody in the company works to build an organization, the one that outranks its competitors in no time. So you are aligned. So last but not least, you and your team get aligned. So this is something special about an OKR. So that is a mixture of top down and bottom up, in which both approaches merge into a homogeneous tone, and it will lead to the success of the company. So why OKRs are successful? So first thing, it is a common language translating long-term strategies into actionable quarterly focus. So when you set your OKRs for a yearly annual basis, and also when you set it for quarterly, so when the first quarter, there will be like so much of contribution from each of the employee, and they'll be like focused without any distraction, and it will be easy for them to achieve their results as well. Transparency, breaking down silos on your team and individual level. So always ensure that the top level objectives which has been set for the company has been split into the individual level, and everyone knows that what are the competencies and what are all the OKRs and how do I have to work towards it and all that. Moving on to the next, we have accountability. So taking clear ownership of areas of responsibility. When something is very much designed and people have to work towards it, and everything is aligned with their work, people's contribution from ground level to top level will be more, and everyone is accountable for their respective activities as well. Alignment, ensuring focused execution across the whole organization. So what's unique about the Synergitas OKR? They're very simple and straightforward. So most OKR tools are easy to use, but they don't make it very simple for the beginners. With Synergita, OKRs is very easy to use, and they help you maximize focus with minimalist tool, and there will not be so much of complexity as well. No chasing of vanity metrics, simple and analytical reports that help you analyze the progress of OKRs or lack of their proof, which turns your focus on the right fix. We don't bury you in vanity metrics that disrupt your rhythm as well. Fail-safe framework, a business goal management framework with both top-down and bottom-up alignment to derive a unified, progressive, and result-driven team. So we'll just quickly go through on a product demo. How does it look and how do we set OKRs? So we have our company objectives. So creating company objectives are very much easier. So you can just simply click on create objective and add your objectives as well. So these are some of the key objectives, key results, followed by 5 key results. And we have team objectives. So that whenever there is an achievement, the employees can go and then like update their progress on each of the key results which they have achieved so far. Once the OKRs are set, the status of each of the OKR can be tracked in the dashboard widgets. It will give you the complete status and the overall progress as well. Overdue objectives. And we have a rich set of analytical reports with good filters, which gives you a detailed list of all the reports as well. So all the reports can be exported into an Excel format.
That was a very informative and engaging session, Kritika. I'm certain our participants would have learned the basics of OKR concept and how Synergita OKR can help roll out OKR successfully to an entire organization. So now, as said earlier, we have a few questions received from the participants, and Kritika will answer those. The first question is, what is the difference between OKR and SMART goals, Kritika?
So the biggest differentiator between OKRs and the SMART goal is a drive towards an outcome as opposed to an action. So SMART goals can have some level of actions planned associated with them, but they are generally about taking a task and doing it more efficiently. Whereas when you look into OKRs, they are focused entirely on outcomes, the results that needs to be achieved. While SMART goals focus on individual aspect of a team's duties, whereas OKRs allows for teams to solve bigger issues, extend past existing practices, and take moonshots without losing sight of the minutes.
Okay. Moving on to the next question. What percentage of progress makes an OKR a success?
Okay, so this depends on whether your organization is working with stretch goals or not. And if you do work with stretch goals, almost 70% progress is the sweet spot. And if you're consistently reaching 100% on your OKRs, they're not challenging enough.
Right. Should my OKRs be realistic or should they be difficult to achieve?
Your OKR should be set with the intent of pushing your team to solve a problem or advance your position. So there isn't a one size that fits all solution. So what might work well for one company might not end up working out for another. So important questions to ask here would be, what could we do in the next quarter that would have the biggest impact on our company? And then what are all the big audacious goals that we need to set in order to have outsized impact on the direction so that you're headed in?
True, true. The next question is, how many OKRs should I create?
Okay, so based on our experience implementing OKRs to several prospects, we generally suggest them this way. So some organizations, what they do is like they attempt to capture all of their work and project in OKRs. So organizations, teams, and people that split the time between too many objectives are less focused on the ones that really matter. And we encourage our customers to have 2 to 4 objectives and 3 to 5 key results per objective. So that is a best practice which can be followed.
Okay. The last question is, should I have individual OKRs?
Should I have individual OKRs? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Individual OKRs can either promote personal growth or they can derail and distract from any otherwise healthy OKR process. So on the other phase, there is nothing wrong with setting individual OKRs, but the problem comes in when individual OKRs get tied to performance review. So tying individual OKRs to compensation or any other advancement causes team members to set goals that they know they can hit. So it is we can have individual OKRs so that there will be a personal growth development, and the learning curve can also be easily achieved for the professional growth journey as well.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kritika, for those insightful answers. We are receiving more and more questions. We will send you the answers and recording through emails. And we have one more poll to show to you. One last poll. So here is the poll question. Are you planning to implement OKR within your organization? Please register your responses.
Looks like almost 70% of you have responded. Those who have not responded, please select your answers and submit. We'll be closing the poll in a few moments.
Okay, we have got a lot of responses which we will send through emails. Hope you all enjoyed the session. There will be more webinars like this. See you in the next one with new updates. Thank you so much for your participation.